I'm Coach Arlen Bento Jr. Welcome to the Shoot Par Now Golf Show. Hope you're doing well. My main man, James Stemmer, is here as my co-host, bringing you another show from Stuart, Florida.
Sunny. Very sunny.
And hot.
Yeah.
Summer's here.
Humidity's coming too.
Woo! 93 degrees yesterday. Yeah. Really warm.
It was like at 7 o'clock at night.
Well, 7 o'clock's not that bad. We still got pretty good mornings, but I've been doing some work in my yard, and I've been it's been wearing me out. Today's sponsor is the Copper Tech Plus training glove. If you haven't seen this, it's a fantastic product. It comes with these wonderful training aids or alignment aids. It makes sure you see your right knuckles, where to put the grip. It's got a little power strap to help you. It's got the finger lines to make sure you're holding your fingers. It's got super tacky spider tack technology. Yeah. Really, really cool glove. So if you're interested, check out Copper Tech. You can use my promo code, Coach Bento, I think is my promo code. Check the links in the description. Before we get into the PGA Championship, wanted to talk a little bit about, we had our first Shoot Par Now 2-person scramble on Sunday.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It was good. We had 10 teams, and we had 3 teams shoot 65. No, 3 teams shot 67, 5 under. So yeah. So we had to do it by handicap hole. You know, we looked at the toughest hole and kind of. So we gave out money for that. We had 7 skins, and we had some closest to the pins. If anyone's interested, George's team finished 4th, won out of the money. They shot even par 72. Okay. And I told them it was pretty good showing, you know, for their first even event that was actually an event. We had scorecards and we had scoreboards and
that's playing all the way into the hole too. That's not
it's a 2-man scramble, but it's still in the hole, right? Yeah. And we played it all the way back.
We're not giving you a 2-foot putt.
And they only made 2 birdies all day, and you know those events, 2 birdies is never gonna really kind of carry you forward there, but it was still a good showing. So we had a good time. So we're gonna have another one in June, looks like it. So anyway, and you had a fun time over on the other coast.
Yeah, my daughter's Little Eagles Learning Center had their first golf tournament.
Florida Gulf Coast University.
Yep, for Florida Gulf Coast University.
Yep.
They raised a little over $23,000.
That's pretty good.
That they're putting.
Well, you said there were like 18,000.
They were at 18 grand before the silent auction and all the mulligans and string and everything else that they sold in the silent auction stuff. So they did that money's all going to replace the broken playground equipment and stuff that was
awful nice.
That was knocked down and damaged and
the hurricanes.
Destroyed from the hurricanes.
Oh, that's good.
The canopies, the shade canopies,
they all got destroyed.
Tore up. So they're replacing all that with this. So it went to a really good cause. A lot of the kids were there, and they're all pre-K. So
they're little. They're littles.
They're all little. And they were having a good time running around. So it was. My daughter had a blast. Hasn't played golf in probably 4 years or so. So she was pretty happy just to get back out there. She's like, I forgot how much fun it is.
Oh, that's so good.
She says, it's so much different playing in a cart than walking, because last time she played, she was in high school.
Oh my gosh, that's so long ago.
So walking in high school was, that's how you played. And she's like, I kind of like to ride in the cart. I don't have to carry my bag.
That's why there's so many of them. Yeah, it's better for you to walk, but you would.
And unlike your event where 67 won, in our event, because they had string.
And mulligans.
And
cheaters.
And a lot of people that, I guess, would pencil whip their scorecard. 27 under par won the event, which means they made at least 9 eagles. I don't know how you do. I don't know how you eagle 5 par 4s in a round, but they did.
That's crud. I'm sorry.
I call shenanigans.
Shenanigans. And Bryson and tour players are struggling to shoot like make eagles in all the holes, right? From the front tees.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so nuts. But like you said, a lot of them, they were using the string wrong.
Yeah.
So the way I understand string is if you use it, you have to cut it off and get rid of it.
Yeah.
They were probably like using 6 feet on every hole.
Yeah. As long as we're inside 6 feet.
Oh, it's good. Give us an eagle. Gotta be.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, that would
whatever.
Yeah.
The whole point was to have a good time. My team, our team, we shot We shot 9 under par, which I thought was pretty respectable.
27 under.
27 under par wins. So we were a whole 18 shots off the lead.
They beat you on by a shot on every hole.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
No
That's just
way.
insane.
So that's why I don't play them. People always, they ask, and I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we'd have fun. No, it's not fun for me at all. It's really not. Because all I'm doing is I'm hitting a shot, and I don't get any rhythm, and I don't get to play my ball, and I'm only good when I get to play my ball. And so I really don't play in those. Now, I've never played a two-man scramble, and I did get some comments online that says there should be more two-man scramble for fundraisers because it's harder to cheat because you're playing against another team.
Yeah.
And
there's someone there to basically audit your score the whole time. Yeah.
That's it. There's got to be a way to sort of fix that.
Remember when they used to have the Buick?
I think they should
Scramble?
put cameras on the carts.
Or just
Buick Scramble, the Buick Scramble. You tell
all
it
you need is 18 volunteers
to track our group.
One on each hole.
Yeah.
Have them sit behind the green and count the strokes that the guys take and write them down. And at the end of the day, they turn in the sheet. And if it doesn't match what they're turning in, you throw them out. You disqualify them.
Yeah, you should. Well, they could go
There
around.
could be a little leeway for somebody messing up, but
You might not
still.
even that many. You could get like 6 with iPads, and they could like go around and like punch in the scores, like real time
just
scoring.
random every once in a
Well,
while.
just checking on people. What'd you make here? Then watch them, and you know. But 27 under. I'm. Well, speaking of 27 under, Scottie Scheffler had a great PGA, and even though he
he had kind of
a rough
mediocre 9 holes to
mediocre.
yesterday.
He had bogeys everywhere. He shot 37 on the front. He gave up almost the whole lead to John Rahm, right?
Well, when he got to the 10th tee, it was tied.
Right. But then he had what he had birdie on 14, 10, 14, and 15. He made birdies, right? But you gotta. We're talking about the PGA Championship that was played Quail Hollow, and Scottie Scheffler won. But he kind of won convincingly. He had a big lead going in. He played really well. But, it
was 5 shots clear to field at one point on the front 9.
So his third major, 2 Masters and a PGA, right?
Correct.
And, this is where, he can become one of the greats of the game if he could get a Grand Slam or something. But
he's only 28.
He's so consistent too. And, we were talking about it before we started. I was telling James he started pulling his tee shots on the front, right?
Yeah.
So now those of you that follow him, I think what he was doing, he was trying to play cut off the left side. That's his normal pattern, right?
Yeah.
But I was telling James, if you watch the top of his backswing when he was on the holes that he was pulling, he tends to get a little cross the line at the top, which I think he was doing. And there's some videos online where he talks about that's his problem. He likes to put a pencil in the grip and kind of make sure it's pointing in the right place. But yeah, all those tee shots, he was crossing the line and he was hitting them good. It was just like starting left. And then what did you tell me? His caddy?
He asked his caddy on the 10th tee. He says, "Do
Where
you
am I?
see anything? What am I doing? Because everything's left." And his caddy says, "Yeah, you're consistent." He says, "Let's just aim a little further to the right. Just keep what
Simple,
you're doing.
right? Yeah.
Keep what you're doing because you're hitting it solid. But let's just move our aim point a little bit to the right, and you can still hit it a little left. But now it's going to be in the middle of the fairway." And I think he hit a 300 and some odd yard drive on the 10th hole.
And made birdie. And made birdie.
So yeah. So and that was all he needed. I mean,
so
a lot of caddies are good swing coaches.
Yeah, but this is something I want to share with the audience watching, right? So as a coach, right, who works with players, when you're playing golf, it's really hard to make a swing change.
You really shouldn't.
Yeah, because it's going to throw off all your timings, right? So we were talking about sometimes, if you're hitting it left, it's just easier to aim right than trying to correct your swing. Whereas a lot of us, I think, when we're playing poorly, we try to correct our swing on the course instead of just playing the shape, right? So if you can't get the ball to turn over, then you're going to have to play a big cut today and play a big cut. Just do your best, right? Now sometimes you are able to fix things, and we're not talking about, when you make a mistake, but these guys, their swings, they don't make a lot of, their swings kind of do what they do. So that was pretty good advice from his caddy, and obviously it worked. 1, 2, 3. John Rahm, oh, poor John Rahm, right? The green mile got him.
He got tied for the lead.
Yep.
And then he had a birdie putt lip out.
And
would have given him the lead.
But Scheffler
And
makes.
after that, he dropped all the way back to 8th place.
Well, he went bogey, double bogey on the last 3 holes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go 4 over in the last 3. I mean, he had some bad breaks, and probably maybe he felt like he had to like push it a little bit, right, to kind of catch him.
Make something happen.
But it didn't work. I thought it was a good tournament. It's just so tough when 3 guys are tied for second at 5 under, and you don't. I mean, the interesting part that he was pushed. You know, he got pushed.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really thought it was going to be one of those. Well, we had a really good tournament if Scheffler wasn't there because.
But he made 3 bogey on the front.
8 guys tied for second place at one point, but they were all 4 shots back.
When's the last time you think Scottie Scheffler made 3 bogeys on the front line? I bet you'd struggle to find it.
Yeah, you might. Yeah.
I don't know where you'd find it. Yeah, I mean, you know, not in a major. I mean, that almost always spells tragedy. But yeah, he played well. I mean, you know, I thought it was it was a good event. Harris English played well. No, you know
the best round on Sunday.
Do you know who Davis Riley? I mean, everybody says he's a really good player, but I don't even recognize him.
I don't remember. I haven't heard much about him.
He must be a young guy. I'm not sure. Leave a comment if you guys know. I mean, sorry we don't know who Davis is, but yeah, it was interesting, you know. But
an interesting bunch that didn't even make the cut.
Oh my God, there were a lot of good players that didn't make the cut.
I mean, Rory made the cut on the number, and then proceeded to just fall apart on the weekend.
Yep. He had one bad round, right?
Dustin Johnson missed the cut by 11 strokes.
Dustin Johnson, that's a weird one.
I mean, how has he fallen since he left the PGA Tour?
You want to know why? Because he plays on live. They don't have to make cuts. He only plays 3 rounds. He doesn't have to play all that stuff.
Yeah.
He shows up. He tees it up. Yeah, whatever, you know. I feel like that live has hurt some of those players' drives, right?
Yeah.
And they paid him that lump of money, right? So, again, what are you going to do?
What do you need to do?
Yeah. So how fired up? He's already won a couple majors. He's won the Masters. What else do you need? He'll just cruise. Now, somewhere along the line, he'll get fired up. You know, and kind of feel like he's out of contention, or it's like when you start to feel irrelevant, you tend to like try to.
They might cut you off over there by then.
Well, you don't know. You know, again, depending on how those whole things structured. But try to imagine the difference between the Pro-Am Wednesday on tour and then the full rounds and the travel, right? Versus live, where they play 3 days, no cut, get paid, team games, shotgun starts. Everybody's laid back.
Music's playing.
That's so his league.
Yeah.
So I think we're seeing a little bit of that come out. You know, whenever it's like any other sport, whenever the player gets the bag, right, gets the money. The year up into, like you see it in pro, like even in basketball, you'll see like guys that are on the last year of a contract, they go bananas, have great years, sign the bag, and the next year, like they
contract year.
Yeah, it's different. Like I don't feel like playing, or I'm going to rest my body, or it's too much money.
And you see it in golf. We used to see it in golf when somebody would win a major, and their club contract was up.
Yep.
And they'd switch clubs,
and they take 2 years to find their game.
It'd take them 2 or 3 years to get back where they were because it just didn't fit them right anymore.
So and people think that's ridiculous, right? But man, you have no idea. Like I could tell you, I remember when Rory switched, years ago between the Nike thing or whatever. Man, he went on a drought, such a long drought.
Oh, yeah.
Tiger's been pretty good at staying on top of his games as he's made, but that's kind of like not real because every brand that Tiger plays, it's his club.
It's a Titleist. It's basically a Titleist with a different stamp on it.
Yeah, it's his grind, no different. It's just stamped with another. So they've built that set so many times, right? So for him, it's like
changing from white shoelaces to brown shoelaces on your shoes.
Yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, and there wasn't a ton of storylines with this tournament, I mean,
Jordan Spieth, who was there hoping to complete the career Grand Slam.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, he was gone right away.
Shane Lowry, who had been playing so well,
right,
missed the cut.
Right, and I thought he was the dark horse. Remember,
I don't know if that was a hangover from, a little bit of a collapse the week before. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work. I know a lot of the players were not happy on Thursday because they did not play lift, clean, in place.
And they probably should have.
And they probably should have because they had about a month's worth of rain
over that.
Wednesday.
Yeah, it really deluged on them.
And they had a lot of mud balls.
Yeah, which is hard.
Which is hard to hit a ball. I mean, most of us recreational players like me, I wouldn't hit a ball with mud all over it. I don't care what the rules say. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to put it back down again. It's a lot different playing in a competition when you've got mud. And as you saw, some of those balls, it was on one side of the ball and not the other. I mean, how big an impact is that?
Mud?
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Because it's like, well, one, if the mud is in contact with the club face on the ball, it's going to change all the dynamics. There's no friction.
Okay.
So that means you're not going to be able, people don't understand, like, the friction of a dry face on a ball makes it spin.
Okay.
So you'd be shocked. Like, people say, oh, how come I don't spin my wedges? I said, because your wedges are dirty.
Okay.
Their grooves are completely dirty and they're old. And you're not going to be able to put any friction on the ball. And if the ball is wet or the dewy or, there's some thicker grass, whatever, you can't spin the ball. And same things happens when you have a flyer lie, right? So what makes the ball out of the rough jump? Well, because grass gets between the club face and there's no friction, so the ball spins and goes really far. So anytime there's no friction, you're going to be in trouble. So mud, no friction.
Same thing.
Yeah. So depending on, try to imagine what part of the mud interferes with what part of the face and the dimple will determine how the ball flies, Yeah. Now what happens when the mud is doesn't come to contact with the face, but is on the side of the ball? It's a counterweight.
Changes the weight of the ball.
Mm-hmm. And depending on, you would think that when you hit it, the mud would fly off. It doesn't sometimes. So now you've got this ball and you don't know what it's going to do because maybe Bryson would know.
You've seen those joke balls where you get it and it's got the weight off center in it, and you switch it on the green with somebody and he hits a button.
Now, if they're hitting shorter irons with a mud ball, it's not so bad, right? Because the short irons create the lift, but it's still not going to hold its line that well. So it's hard. I always said wind. I think wind is the hardest thing to play in. Mm-hmm. I think wind is the toughest. Rain is hard too. Rain and wind, impossible. Rain is hard, but in rain, you should be able to control the ball, right? You can wipe a golf ball, wipe your club, lift clean place. You can put good contact, and with rain, the greens get soft, right? Yeah. So then, good players
don't need as much spin to hold them.
No, there is no spin. Yeah, they're hitting what they call straight yardage. So 147, 147. Like wherever they hit it, the ball is going to stay, right? So I think a lot of players play really well when they can lift and clean the ball and play no movement on the shots. They just fire at pins and hit. And they know their distances so well. So it's almost like cheating for them because they know exactly how far each club goes, whereas we're always guessing. We're always guessing. You got anything else coming up with your golf stuff or any events or anything? Any invites coming up?
Nothing at the moment.
No? Yeah. This is the time of year down here where we've mentioned before. It starts to get warm. Yeah. We haven't got the rain. We had really good rain like a week ago, but we haven't had a lot of rain. So the courses are still dry. It's just hot. And but the breeze is okay. We're at 93, and then it'll drop to like high 70s. We got the rain. It gets a little bit cooler this week. I think I saw like 88s and 89s, and then 74. So the weather's still nice. It's pretty nice here till about mid-June. But summer's upon us. So not a lot of. I'm not going to be standing out at the lesson tee just dying out there. I am doing summer camps. Summer camps, 3 hours every morning. We do only 3 days a week, and I will play a little bit if the weather's not terrible. But it'll wear you out. Yeah, a good chance to lose a little weight, get in shape a little bit. Yeah, work on our suntan, get sweaty.
Stand there all day
it's even in the studio. It's like it's all metal. This building's a big metal building, right? I mean, how hot is my roof with the 93 outside? It's got to be hundreds of 110.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's really tough for the ACs to even run and keep it relatively cool because. Even today, just teaching, watching my students, you can feel them. It's a little hotter in here. It's probably like 76, 75, where it's really easy to keep the temperatures down, but not in the summer. So I don't have anything going on. We're actually with Shoot Parnell, we have a VIP program we just launched. So if anybody's interested, especially the high school players, it's an 8-week program. It's really designed to get people ready for high school season. So it's 8 weeks. We do one training in here. I throw in 2 outdoor lessons, and at the end of the 8 weeks, we have like a little mini tournament that I run. So it's a really good program, and it's on a special price. So if you're interested in working with me, This is probably the best offer of the year. So go to Shoot Par Now, shootparnow.com, and you can see on the homepage there's a link to the VIP program. But yeah, just getting ready for summer and getting ready for some junior golf, and just kind of.
That's one of the smarter things they did in the high schools when they moved the golf season to the fall instead of in the spring, because it was much easier for the kids to get practice and all in, because they were out of school for the summer and they could play without spending an arm and a leg to try to play during the winter,
right,
to keep their game sharp.
So there's two things. Yes, courses are not busy, so the kids, they can pretty much play everywhere. No one's going to complain. And if they were trying to do in the spring, there's still a little pushback, because the kids would be displacing, they would be displacing paying rounds, and that's not good for a golf course. But the problem is that you'd be shocked how many washouts these kids have, because I think they have to get 4 or 6, and they can never get them in. So when I was coaching high school, again, little different, because my teams were super strong, right? A lot of par shooters. So we only played one match a week, played only 18 holes. We stopped playing 9 holes, just wasn't conducive to us. It was easier to let the kids get out early, like after lunch 1 day a week, than to try to leave a little early a couple days. And at 1 o'clock, sometimes we only got in 9, but the 9 qualified as a match. And I don't know how it is in the rest of the country, but our high school season has no bearing on anything. Like, there's no rankings, there's no like positions for playoffs. So everybody gets to go to the district. So I almost feel like the high school season is a preparation for the district, which is an 18-hole tournament. And there's so many schools down here that they play 9 holes all year, and when those poor kids go to a big tournament, they fall apart. So I always, there was a big problem. We were having a big problem with teams, and so everybody would qualify for a district, and some districts, the team that would win, their players are all shooting 120, right? And the rounds are taking all day, and then they go to a regional, and now the teams are better, and some teams, all the kids are shooting in the 70s, and now you got one team that's shooting, and they throw off the whole day. So it's like they were trying to come up with a rule, like, if the team isn't strong enough, they shouldn't be allowed to compete. And it's like this big old thing. But I know that for some coaches, especially some of the girls' events, the girls were really high handicaps, and they couldn't even finish 18 holes. I mean, 7-hour rounds, 8-hour rounds.
That's brutal.
Yeah, and they made them finish because they had to, but the girls were falling apart, poor things, right?
Oh,
and I always thought that was wrong, But
yeah.
I don't have the answer. I'm not coaching the team anymore, so I don't know how that. Maybe the rules changed a little bit, but what you got?
Well, a little sad news in the golf world.
Right.
Anybody that's a fan of golf clubs and equipment
I know where you're going with this. Yep.
has probably heard of Miura Golf.
Yeah, Miura Golf. Yep.
Well,
Master
Shiro, the founder of Miura Golf, started designing clubs at the age of 16. Passed away last week on Wednesday. He was 82 years old. Miura is like the
gold standard
for forged irons and wedges and everything else. So
I've watched.
His sons are going to continue on. Been running the company and will.
It's not a big company.
No, it's not.
I saw a whole documentary on one of a YouTuber, a couple pros that went out there, and it's amazing their process. Right? They like to make it like it's a Japanese sword. It's comparable to a samurai sword, and it's made with painstaking detail. Yeah, and they're not cheap.
No.
Yeah, but they're beautiful golf clubs. But that's pretty cool.
So,
but things come to end.
If you got some cash sitting around, TaylorMade is going to be for sale.
Really?
South Korean private equity firm Centroid Investment Partners plans to sell the controlling stock in TaylorMade Golf. So
I thought it was always
wanted to own a golf equipment company. Here's your chance.
So it's owned currently by a Korean.
South Korean equity.
Oh, I did not know. I always thought it was still like part of something from France, with the Adidas TaylorMade thing. But yeah, I wonder why, because Koreans are nuts for golf. Yeah. Must not be doing great.
They seek a sale price of
how much?
5 trillion South Korean won, which is about $3.5 billion.
$3.5 billion for TaylorMade.
I mean, that's a lot of money for a golf company.
Yeah. It's a big golf company.
Yeah.
But it's funny with golf. Like golf companies could dive like really fast, and TaylorMade has been doing an incredible job on what they've been doing. They make great stuff, but $569 for a driver is $599 for a driver.
Yeah, $600 now for a driver.
Where does most people fit for that? Can't.
Not many.
Yeah. And again, I get it.
You wait a couple of years and it's $300.
Yeah, or a couple of years, 5 years, and pick it up for $200. But it's just like that cycle of always having to produce new and better and whatever. And I don't know, is it sustainable? I don't think it is. I think there's going to reach a point. I think they did well when they hit that price point and everybody started paying it. I mean, I remember when $299 was a big price for a driver. Oh, yeah. And it wasn't that long ago.
I remember I scraped and saved way back when I wanted when the Callaway Big Bertha came out. But then everybody had to have one.
You start to see the push from the Tacomos and I saw Ram.
Yeah.
Ram made a comeback. And they're making
company bought them.
Yeah, but I think they're doing kind of like it's Tacoma, right? The brand that I see a lot of the guys talking like $4.99 for a set.
Yeah.
And then you got Costco, what is it, Kirkland brand. It looks just like Titleist, right? Yeah. And or is it TaylorMade? I don't know which one, but so they're selling stuff a lot less expensive, and people are buying it. So there's still a lot of people that play golf that want new equipment, but again, at price points that are that high, it's kind of crazy. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Same guys that have Ram have Hogan and Teardrop putters.
Those are nice lines.
Those are nice lines.
Did you see the thing about how Maxfly golf balls? There's people on tour playing them. Have you seen them?
I got a sleeve at the merchandise show.
What do you think? Did you play them?
I like them. Do I play well enough to notice a lot of the difference? Not really, but
but Dick's bought them, right?
I'd play it every bit as much as I play the Pro V1.
I saw a lot of people online saying that they thought that the Maxfly was comparable to Pro V1. So
it's right up there at $40-50 a day.
It's funny. Like my brain never. I remember Maxfly when it was huge, right? But I never liked the look on my. When you look down at the emblem.
Yeah, it's just a dot.
I just couldn't do it.
It's those old targets.
Yeah, but I was like a Titleist guy for a long time. And it's still the look, it's just the look of the golf ball. I think it's like branding, but I go back and forth. I really like the Vice golf ball a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've played a couple of those. I like them.
I don't know if you were with Tour Edge at the time when Vice was there for one of their media days for the golf merchandise show, and Vice was there to introduce themselves.
And they made a big splash.
And they came out. They had a beer garden set up on one of the tees. So you could stop and they gave you a Stein, a German Stein, with the Vice.
So they're a German company.
And they
let you have
the beer in there, and you took the Stein with you.
That's how to do it.
And they gave us golf balls, and they had a soft pretzel. If you've seen the Vice logo, they made the soft pretzel in the Vice logo.
I guess if you look at it,
really, really cool.
Yeah.
Just really good marketing ideas.
They
were pretty slick.
Well,
now they've come out with
clubs. I know. I saw it. I almost went to work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was doing the rep stuff before I, got the academy things all full time, and I went full time academy. I've always taught golf. It's just I've always had different businesses, but they were into at the time, and I met the owners, the young guys, the German guys, and we had big meetings, and I forget what happened. I don't know why I wasn't selected. I don't even remember. But their big thing was they were going to install vending machines in all the golf courses, because they were saying that it's so hard to get a course to stock a ball against their, because a lot of courses you stock what their pros play, right? It's like branded.
Yeah.
But they just said, look, we're going to put 2 machines, and they're all full of balls, and the machines know when they're empty, and basically every time it gets low, you just get a new box of balls, put it in there. All you got to do is put it in. It's all your money, goes right into your system. The money's calculated, their profits are there because they're controlling the money, and that was their big push. And I don't think it ever got off the ground.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, but that would have been an interesting, people on the first tee, and why do you might just pick up a couple sleeves right on the tee box, or right on the range, or right on the restaurant, get your balls, gloves,
That's cool.
balls,
That's cool.
But that was their plan, but I guess it never worked. But anyway, yeah, that's going to probably wrap up our show. We'll be covering the next event next week, bring you some updates.
The Charles Schwab Championship was this weekend in Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, so that'll be a neat one.
The boys are playing.
Yeah, so there'll be probably a lot of Texas guys, and that should be hopefully a good event. But thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys real soon.
Don't forget to like us.
Subscribe.
Leave us a comment.
Yeah, thanks a lot for watching.